right. The other day I did a video where I was all excited and happy, wanted to share the knowledge of a fast and easy, efficient way to clean your fuel injectors. But I was I was it just wasn't right about that. And so it was up for maybe 5 or 6 hours, and somebody made a comment, and he said, well, that won't clean your fuel injectors, and it went on. But as soon as I read that, the gears in my mind just, and I was like, oh shit, he's going to be right. And I read it and I knew it was all correct, and I was incorrect. So I want to go over it again because I got several notes from people saying I should have kept the video up because it was still a good idea, because we all think it does do something. So I'm going to show you this, and if you're a mechanic watching this and you think I'm wrong, correct me, straighten me out. I'm not right about everything. I'm not hung up on trying to be right. Just want to help people out. First step is taking the air box off. Use your 8mm. I already loosened it. Pop your connectors off here, and it comes right out. Show you a little mod I did because I kept getting leaves and stuff in my air box. I put some nylon screen on here. This is what you use in your household windows, and that's a Velcro tape around there. I don't know if it's gonna really work well. If that's a bad idea, you tell me, but I think it's a good idea. I keep finding crap in the air box. Now, next step is over here. If we can get you to see this, because I know the sun is kind of hot here. Right in here, there's a breather tube. I've just disconnected it already, but it goes right in here, so you just pull that off. Okay, because we want to feed into that breather tube. The product I like to use here is this Berryman's B12 stuff. The issue is it comes with that straw, right? This little red straw here, and when you put it on, if you were to try to reach in there with your arm, you got to hold it like this. And if you spray this, it's going to, see how it goes off, it stops coming out. So you have to kind of keep the can upright in order to get the material to come out of it. So I made a series of hoses here. And this hose here comes out of a spray bottle. That could be Windex, could be anything. You might want to clean that out first. And then this hose, this actually says DOT Air Brake SAE. It's a brake line. It's also the exact same stuff they sell you for if you have air shocks. This is what I use for my air shocks in the back. So you can hook this up to here, slide this in. It's probably not a bad idea to put some electrical tape on this for a super strong connection. I think my hands are shaking. I just think I had some caffeine. So boom, boom. This fits into the breather hole, right? So get an eyeball on that for you. I'm so pro. I'm so pro. I'm really not pro. This is me making fun of me. All right. So you take this here, fit this right into that breather, turn the car on, and have someone keep the gas pedal at about 2,000 RPM. That's about what you want to do. And while that's happening, just go ahead and send some of this in there. Hold it in place, boom. Now, as I said, initially I thought this would be good for the fuel injectors and maybe even the O2 sensor because I'd seen a video on it, but it was a different vehicle. And the guy actually showed of course, maybe he's lying, maybe he's not as honest as I am. But he showed the O2 sensor filthy, pulled it out, showed it to you, put it back in, did this, and it cleaned it. But again, different system. So his breather must have been in another place on that vehicle. I just thought that'd be easy for me. Now, what benefits could this have for the Astro van? Because it's just going into this intake. But what it does is, this cleaner is going to go through the throttle body, right? Then you've got that upper intake manifold, which basically just covers your spider injector. And then there's holes, these ports that go down to your intake valves. It's probably getting in there too and kind of cleaning your intake valves. So maybe this is just a hack to clean your throttle body and your intake valves a little bit, because the truck definitely ran smoother after this. So that's all that is. I just wanted to show that to you. You can give this a shot. Keep in mind that if you're going to go through all this trouble, maybe clean your mass airflow sensor as well. You're not supposed to touch the little filaments in there. And when I was in Texas, I stopped off at a buddy's and I was getting bad gas mileage, and he suggested cleaning the mass airflow sensor. And so he just he's one of those guys. You show up, you go to a shop, he just does it for you. He's like, just starts doing it, which is not good because you want to know how to do it yourself. But I took this out again the other day, and I was spraying it from the backside, but I realized this whole honeycomb thing here was pretty black. And I sprayed through it a little bit, and it got clean. And then I put on a piece of plywood, and I sprayed through more, and you could see the black particulate carbon and whatnot, whatever that is, funk on there, as debris all over the plywood. So I said, let me take it apart. There's 4 bolts. I actually took the whole thing apart and cleaned the front side of those filaments. And even though you're not supposed to touch them, I took a paper towel, clean paper towel, sprayed the cleaner on it, and dabbed that on there, and it pulled a lot of gunk off those filaments. So it could be a combination of things. Now, I did the mass airflow sensor a day or two before I did the thing I just showed you. I didn't really notice a big difference in how the van ran. But when I did this thing with the breather tube, with the Berrymans, putting the hose through and running that, and having a friend run the engine for me, and he over-revved it a bit. He doesn't, it's funny, he's like this, did 3 tours in Afghanistan, Army, he was what was he? A mountain division medic, paratrooper, badass. But he doesn't own a car, he doesn't drive, so it's kind of funny. So he kept over-revving. I was like, no, take it down a little bit. But anyhow, I'm just saying, this particular mass airflow sensor does break down. There's a front section, a middle section, a back section. There's this thing here that has this like aluminum plate behind this piece of plastic, and that was all gunked up, so I sprayed that out too, and that really can't hurt anything, I don't think. So the van seems to be running tip-top, man. That's all I can tell you. So hopefully this helps. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. And if you're having like a weird throttle response issues, or maybe you got a little bit of a rough idle or something, maybe you're noticing poor fuel economy, give this a shot. I know that for poor fuel economy and maybe a little bit of a rough idle, a lot of people replace the throttle body. It's a pretty easy thing to do, but maybe this will save you some time. Maybe you can just try spraying this cleaner in there. So I guess the title of this will be possibly cleans your throttle body? Big ass question mark? I don't know. Have a good day. Be good to one another, and I'll catch you next time.